Dre Day, nigga. AK, nigga. Though I've grown a lot, can't keep it home a lot. Cause when I frequent the spot.
The Chronic is already one of the greatest rap albums of all time, but this was even a bigger step up. I honestly think this is probably the second best produced rap album, right after My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. And every single beat on this album is just absolutely phenomenal, with the best one probably being Still DRE. This album just has such a huge entourage of amazing guest verses, and the best on here is probably Eminem. He just absolutely slaughtered every single track he was on. And this album just like flows like super consistently, like from start to finish. Like there's never a dull moment on here. There's so many amazing choruses, whether it comes to What's the Difference, Still DRE. And this is just an album I
kill you. I ain't playing. Hear what I'm saying, homie. I ain't playing. Catch you slipping, I'ma kill.
This is one album that's just like super like fun to like just chill out and vibe to. It's just filled with banger after banger after banger. And the production on this thing was absolutely phenomenal, mainly produced by Dr. Dre. And the hooks on this thing, holy shit. Like, this seriously has some of the most catchy and amazing choruses that I've ever heard. Although 50 Cent's technical lyrical ability might not be the strongest on this thing, he absolutely makes up for it with his delivery and energy. You could just tell that he felt like super hungry and like desperate to prove himself this entire thing. And it's just filled with like so many like hyped, like aggressive songs. This is just like an album that's like really amazing to like put on like at a party or whatever. But despite that, there's also some more like personal and emotional moments as well, such as Many Men, where he talks about like him surviving getting shot 7 times. Overall, this is just like a super fun listen and just like an amazing album to listen to whenever you're in the mood to just like vibe out.
She was up bad, the type at the club niggas would grab her. Fantasize when I had her.
This is one album that I really feel doesn't get enough love. It isn't mentioned as much as it should be, and it absolutely should, because if you ask me, everything about this album is just perfect. Whether it comes to the production by Kanye, the choruses, Common's intricate lyricism, this album is just an absolute masterpiece. What I really appreciate about this album is just like how hopeful it is. Like, it's really like a great album to listen to whenever you like want to feel motivated, and it's just like incredibly inspiring and like teaches you to like really like reach for your dreams. And the production on here from start to finish is just absolutely beautiful. There's just so many iconic tracks on here, whether it comes to the intro, They Say with Kanye West, Shy City, as well as so many others. This is just one album that is absolutely amazing and deserves to be recognized more, and will forever be one of my all-time favorites.
Represent. Straight up shit is real, and any day could be your last in the jungle. Get murdered on the humble, guns of blast niggas.
This is often regarded as the greatest rap album of all time, and for good reason. Cause everything about this album, like, this album just really like reaches a height that many albums fail to live up to. And the fact that Nas only wrote this when he was 17 is absolutely mind-blowing. This has like some of the best, like most iconic hip-hop songs ever, whether it comes to New York State of Mind, The World Is Yours, It Ain't Hard to Tell. And at only 39 minutes long, this album just flows perfectly from start to finish, and there's never any filler. And when I'm listening to this album, it actually feels like I'm experiencing like Nas's journey through New York. And everything about Nas's rapping here was just phenomenal. Like, whether it comes to his rhyme schemes, his flow, his delivery, he just like absolutely rapped his ass off here. And his performance here is some of the greatest ever. And the production here is also fantastic by DJ Premier and really captures that New York vibe.
I sit back with this pack of zigzags in this bag of this weed. It gives me the shit needed to be the most meanest MC.
This is often regarded to be Eminem's greatest album. Eminem like really took that like disturbing and like offensive vibe from the Slim Shady LP and dialed it up even more. And what I really love is just how Eminem gave like absolutely zero fucks here. He wasn't afraid to like offend anyone or just like say like anything controversial, which is pretty rare in music, and Eminem like pulled it off like so excellently and still made it like super entertaining. This song is filled with some of the all-time greatest hip-hop songs, whether it comes to Stan, The Real Slim Shady, The Way I Am. And I just really love like the dark horrorcore vibe. Despite the dark nature of the album, like Eminem still retains like some of his signature humor here, with like lines that are like super disturbing but equally as funny. This album like also really delves into like the negative side of fame. Like when you usually hear songs about like people being famous, it's like usually portrayed in like a positive light, but like here Eminem like also showed like the negative side of things that can like come along with it, which was like a really unique concept for an album. And this is also just like an excellent album to listen to when you're like feeling pissed off. There's no denying that Kanye has one of the greatest catalogs in all of hip-hop. He has just so many classic albums, whether it comes to The College Dropout, Late Registration, Graduation, but this is arguably his magnum opus. Kanye was just at his most skilled here when it comes to both songwriting and production. It has some of his best lyrics, such as on songs like Gorgeous, as well as best production on songs like Runaway. And my favorite song on this album has got to be Devil in a New Dress. That's maybe my favorite song of all time. Like, that guitar solo is just fucking insane. Conceptually, this album is like also amazing as well. Like, it really delves deep into like Kanye's inner struggles and him struggling with things such as fame, relationships, and each song just like really adds on to the overall theme. And the production on here is just like absolutely insane. Like whenever I listen to this thing, it just feels like I'm being transported to like another world. This album is also like full of amazing guest verses such as Rick Ross, Nicki Minaj, Jay-Z. And this is just one album that I'll probably never get sick of and I could listen to over and over.
White America, I could be one of your kids. White America, Eric looks just like this.
Most people would probably say that Eminem's best album is the Marshall Mathers LP, but I honestly think that this is his best album. Because this was really the first time we saw like who he was as a person behind like the Slim Shady mask he put on. And this album just does such an incredible job at like depicting like his inner struggles, and this is probably like Eminem's like most emotional like body of work. And this is also like Eminem at his most diverse, because this album just has like a type of song for like pretty much like every mood you're in. Like there's angry aggressive songs like Soldier, there's lighthearted songs like Without Me, there's emotional songs like Haley's song. This album just truly had everything. And I've probably like listened to this album like hundreds of times and I've never gotten sick of it. This is just one album like I could put on like any day of the week and I'd still like it equally as much as the first time I heard it. So for me, this is my favorite rap album and it likely always will be.